Most people that reach out to me to start an IUL say that they want it because they want to make money. And there's one big problem with that. The problem is that reason is a little bit too broad and lacks one important thing when it comes to making money, which is intentionality. What do I mean by that? Say you've decided that you want to go on a trip. You jump into your car and you go to your GPS and you tell Siri, I want to go somewhere fun. That may in fact be what you want to do. But if you tell your GPS that you want to go somewhere fun for one person could be going to the beach. Fun for somebody else could be going to a concert. Fun for somebody else could be doing a whole bunch of drugs. So if you just have this general direction that you say, which is I want to have fun, GPS take me somewhere, it's not intentional or specific enough to actually get you to where you want to go. Could you give this broad direction and get to somewhere fun for you? Yes, absolutely. But you have a higher chance of getting the actual fun that you want if you're very specific. Similarly, if you reach out to someone and you say, hey, I want to open an IUL because I want to make money, that's a little bit too broad. And yes, with directions that are broad like that, somebody can open an IUL for you and it could make you money, but there is a better way to do this that is actually going to get you to a better outcome with your money. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through 3 specific questions that you want to ask yourself and be clear on before you reach out to anybody about your IUL. If you take the time to reflect on what I'm going to walk you through today and then communicate that when you are talking to someone to open an IUL for you, then you have a better chance to actually open an account that is going to have your money work for you and grow exponentially. Now, if this is the first time that we are meeting, my name is Nobu and I help working professionals 40 and over save smarter and pay less taxes by using cash value life insurance like an IUL. If that sounds like you and you would like to work with me to open your IUL, go ahead and check out the link in the comments and the description. If you want to open an IUL that is actually going to make you money, the first thing that you want to clarify is what is it specifically that you want to do with this money that you're going to make? And you actually want to think of one particular thing. The thing with an IUL is that it is very customizable and can do a lot of different things for you. So if you're not specific about what is the main goal of this particular IUL that you want to open, then you are going to run the chance of not providing enough information to the person that is opening it for you for it to do what you want to do. Most people that reach out to me are primarily looking to use an IUL either for retirement income or for real estate investing. Let's take for the example of retirement income. If you're saying that you want to use this account for retirement, there could be various situations within that bucket. So are you using this for retirement and it's the only retirement account that you plan on having? Are you using this for retirement, but you also have a 401k and you have rental property and you have an IRA? Are you using this for retirement income and you have a 401k option at your job, but you're not using it? So like all those details are important. And so when you're thinking about what am I going to use this for, it is important for you to share those details with the person that you are working with to open this IUL for you. Because by the way, you cannot open an IUL on your own. You need to actually go through a licensed insurance agent or licensed insurance broker in order to do that for you. But you want to take a step back and ask yourself, am I opening this IUL and it's my only source of income in retirement? Or am I opening it and it's going to be a backup plan to my 401k? This is what you want to take a step back and ask yourself. And while you can also use that IUL for other things, there should be one main purpose for your IUL. What happens a lot of time is people come in and they're just like, oh, I want to make money. I want to save for retirement. And then I also want to buy a house. And I also want to open a business. And that's a lot of different things. And you want to just take a step back and ask yourself, yes, there are many things that you want to do in your life. There are many things that you could use this account for, but what is the main thing that you want to use this for? And remember, you can open multiple accounts. So this one account doesn't have to do everything, but each account should have a primary goal, and then you can also use it for other things in addition to that. So first thing you want to get clear on and have clarity before you get on this call. So when you get on this call, it is the best use of your time is when I say I want to make money, what does that mean to me, right? What is a specific thing that I want to use this money for when I make it? And provide as many details as possible so that the person that is working with you can help you the most. if you're working with somebody that knows what they're doing, they are going to ask you additional questions to clarify if the answer that you give is not clear enough. And so it is important that when you have this conversation, you are 100% honest and transparent, because this IUL is going to be built out based on you and based on your goals. And so if you're not honest about what you actually want to do with this account and you're not realistic about it as well, then it's not going to be built out in a way that is going to make you money. Now, if your primary reason for wanting an IUL is to supplement your retirement income, I have a free course that I've put together for working professionals 40 and over, so you can understand exactly how it works and how it may or may not be good for you. Go ahead and check the link in the comment if you would like to take that free course. So once you are clear and specific about what it is that you want this IUL to do for you, like what it is that you mean exactly by make more money, the next step is to understand when is it that you want to do this thing. So we're going to use that same example for retirement. So if your goal is to use this IUL for retirement income, then you want to take a step back and be honest with yourself and have a realistic idea of when is it that you want to retire. It's important for you to know that timeline and to be able to communicate that timeline, because when your IUL is being built out, like I said, it's customizable. So we're going to build it out. So you're paying into it for a specific amount of time, paying in a specific amount over that specific amount of time. So it's important to know when you want to start pulling money out of it so that it can be built out to accommodate you pulling out money and still be a functioning account. If you're not clear on when it is that you want to retire, or you don't give an accurate date, then you are going to end up in a position where you're putting in too much money or too little money. Too much money is never a problem. Like, it's okay to put more than you need into an IUL, but too little money is problematic, because what that means is when you start to take money out, your account is not going to function well. Being clear on when you want to start pulling money out of this is not only useful for the person that is creating the IUL for you to make sure that it actually functions in a way that allows you to do what you want to do, but also you can use it as a way to just double check as well to make sure that it is going to do what you want it to do, right? So for example, if you're using it primarily for real estate investing and you know that you want to be able to pull money out on the second year, but when you're looking at the numbers on the second year, there's zero, then that's your way to look at it and say, okay, this is actually not going to work for me based on my goals. I am curious, what is the reason that you want to get an IUL? What does make money with it mean to you? Go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. The most important thing is this next thing that I'm going to cover right now, which is being honest with yourself about how you plan on funding this IUL. The biggest misconception and misunderstanding around funding the IUL is that people think it's like a bank account where you just kind of put money in willy-nilly whenever you feel like it, sometimes 50, sometimes 100, sometimes 1,000. And that's not how it works. This is a life insurance policy. And so it is a contract where you're obligated to put in a specific amount of dollars in it for a specific amount of time. And so it is imperative that you look at your money and look at your budget and figure out what is my actual excess funds, like how much is it, can I realistically put into this long term and not miss that. So you want to think through what is the absolute minimum amount that I'm comfortable putting in here and what is the max amount that I'm comfortable putting in here. And as you're thinking about what you're comfortable doing, also consider what your end goal is. So if your end goal is, I want to use this to invest in 5 years and I want to buy $1 million building, then putting in $100 a month is not going to get you there. So you want to balance out how much can I realistically put in and also what is my end goal. But between your end goal and how much you can put in, the thing that weighs more is how much you can actually put in. Because you don't want to start the IUL with the plan of putting in $5,000 a month if realistically what you can do long term is $500 a month. So you want to be crystal clear with yourself. What is your minimum and what is your maximum? And bring those numbers to the table when you are having a discussion about opening your IUL. And the person that you're working with will let you know whether those numbers do or do not make sense based on what your goal is, based on what your age is, and based on what your health is. And if you have the leeway, right, and if they say that your numbers are not high enough, if you have the leeway to put more in, amazing, but do not stretch yourself thin if you know that those numbers are not going to work for you long term. You don't want to start this account with a large number that is going to be uncomfortable, because in the long run, if you're not able to maintain that and keep up with that for the contract term, then you could potentially end up losing your policy depending on how drastic of a difference it is between what you plan to put in and what you're actually putting in. The important thing here to remember is that, this is not a savings account where you just put in whatever you want, right? We are building this out to make sure that it's sustainable. So you want to be honest about your minimum and your maximum so that the policy is built out where it can accommodate your maximum that you can realistically put in, but also can accommodate you putting in a minimum amount as well if something happens and you cannot pay into that policy. In addition to the misconception that you can use an IUL like a savings account and just put money in whenever you want to, another big misconception is that it's a good idea to take a large amount of money and put it into an IUL upfront as a lump sum. In this video, I walk you through why that is usually not a good idea. So make sure to check out this video so you do not make a mistake that is going to cost you literally hundreds of thousands of dollars. I will see you there.